Welcome back to another Redbex how-to video. In this video we are going to see how to retrieve features out of the database, how to search for features and how to organize them in order to work with features. If you've seen already our video about creation of features, you might remember that we have seen that all the new features we created were collected in the feature browser, which is the window positioned in the left bottom side. I'm going to drag it out a little bit to focus on this window, the feature browser. First of all, again, let me tell you, it would be a good idea to read also the information in the reference manual about Redbex. If you press the function key F1, you will also always be led to the coding part of the reference manual. So, for example, concerning the feature browser, there is a section you will be able to find by pressing F1. It's in the Smart Client section. There are different windows, of course, and in the content section there is a chapter about the feature browser. The feature browser basically consists of three different panels. We have seen the feature selection panel when we created the feature in the last video. So the feature selection panel gives the content of a current selection of features. So the question is, how do they come there? Where do they come from? The first way we have seen when we created new features is that, of course, every new feature which has been created will be listed in the selection panel of the feature browser. To switch around between the three panels of the feature browser, you use the icons being positioned on the bottom right side of the feature browser. So you'll see the first one, which is called the view members, then the middle one, which is called the selection, and then the right icon, which is called the feature sets. So we stay a little bit on the current selections and have a look to the other controls of the feature browser. So you see on the bottom there are two different modes the feature browser, the current selection feature browser panel works like. The first one is the add mode, and then the other one is the replace mode. So in the add mode, every new feature which will be listed to the current selection is just appended to the list. If you select the replace mode, then every new feature which comes to the list will replace the existing features. So the existing features in this list will be removed. Of course, not the feature in the database, but only the entries of the current selection of the feature browser. The third button is this star with the cross beside, is to clear the selection. So if I press this button, every feature will be cleared out of the current selection list. So the last button gives us the name to store a current selection. So the number, a certain number of features being listed in the current selection can be stored for retrieving at a later time. But now we have the question, how do we get the features we created last time again to the current selection window? Well, one of the first option is the so-called feature search. To open the feature search bar, you press the search button being situated on the very top of the window. This black glasses on the top. Just press the button and you will be provided with the feature search bar, which gives you the possibility to search for features in a specific way. You have the possibility to enter 4 different categories to search for. The first one is the data domain. So as we know that every feature is situated in exactly one data domain, we have to specify in which data domain we would like to search for features. Now we have the selection to search in every data domain. As we do only have one, this is quite fine for us. The next possibility is to search for certain feature types. you have the possibility to just select feature types you would like to search for. If you don't select any, every feature type will be included into the search, which also is fine for us right now. Then you could name a special subtype. We don't have any, so we leave this blank also. And the last one is the feature name which we would like to search. And if you remember, we quite created some different features with different feature names last time. One was called my first distance feature. So if I don't remember exactly, I just type in my first and then being followed this by an asterisk, which means any characters are fine for this search. And if I execute this search now, I will find my first distance feature in my current selection window of the feature browser. I can search also for another one, which was, I remember of one which was named this is also a feature. So I type in this is and then an asterisk, and you will see as I activated the replace mode of the feature window, my first distance feature disappeared right now and is replaced by this is also a feature. So if I would like to have both features in my current selection, I change the mode to add mode and again fill in the name my first and so on feature, and now this is also a feature remains from the search before, and my first distance feature is added to this list. So let's add another feature. Another feature was the name of a feature I created the last time. Again, type in the name, and now I have 3 features in my current selection list. Now I can make use of the opportunity to store my feature selection using this plus button, and I should give them a name which is recallable. I'll just name them 3 features by pressing the button OK. This set of features is stored, and the feature browser changes to the feature set panel and displays the features for the name 3 features. So if I go back and clear it again, I can have a look for different features. I think we had some features with numbers at the end, so there should be one numbered 6. Then also there should be one numbered 4, and I just would like to search for some features. So now we have 3 different features, and again I give them a name. I call them house features, being 1, 4 and number 6. And again, if I store this feature set, the feature browser changes to the feature set panel and displays the features I have saved right now. And now I can change my feature sets just by clicking to these names here, and I have now the possibility to get some features out of the system and then open them and work on them how I would like to do. If I don't need one of this feature set anymore, for example this one is empty, I can delete this feature set by pressing this red delete button, and then it disappears and is deleted. So it is important to know that this feature set possibility is only valid for my current user. So nobody else is able to see the feature sets. It's only for my person. Only I can see them. Only I can work on them. So of course it would be interesting to have a possibility to structure the features and to make them available to every user in the same way, to structure them in a way which maps my project or my workspace and therefore Redbex offers a different feature which is called view. And we have seen the term view already when we went through the panels of the feature browser. So the first panel, if we look at this again, the first panel is called view members. So this gives us a little hint what a view could be, what a view might be. On one hand, a view or the view structure in Redbex is something like a directory structure on your hard disk. So you can order your features just like you order your files on your hard disks to in a way you create different hierarchical folders and put your files into the hard disks. Well, the view concept in Redbex is something like the directory structure, but it's more powerful than the directory structure because the view is not just a container for features, it's only a filter of features. So almost like we did in the feature search, every view has a filter criteria and looks for specific views for specific features which can be found through this filter criteria. So why is this more powerful than a directory structure? It is more powerful because that way it is allowed that one feature can be found not only by exact one view, but can be situated in different views. If you think of your directory structure on your hard disks, then every file can only be in one directory. It's not possible that different folders contain one and the same file. In Redbex, it is possible that one feature can be opened, can be reached by different views, because the views only are filters, and different filters, of course, can have a result which contains the same feature. This is interesting because that way you have the possibility to structure your features in different ways. For example, you can build up views for houses you're monitoring, so every house will get one view, and every view for the house gives you all the features which are situated around this house, no matter what feature type they are. Then in a second way you can build up a view structure which follows the feature types you're using, and then by clicking one view you can open all your measurement feature types, or you can open all your hydrological feature types, no matter what house they are connected to. So let's have a little look to a view. I put the feature browser back again on its old position, and let's have a little more detailed view to our view structure. Our view structure right now is quite simple. It consists of only one entry, which is called the root view. The root view has a special case because root views can only be created by kind of managers of the Redbex system, because the root views offer the possibility to get every feature within the database, and as this might be not wished, only managers are able to create root views, but this is something which has to do with the privilege system in Redbex, and also will be the topic of a later video. So let's investigate this root view. We click it with the right mouse button, and then we have the possibility to edit this root view, and we get the root view edit window, which consists of 3 different tabs. We have a general tab, then we have the view order, and in the middle we have the view filter. The general tab, of course, consists of the name of the view, which can be defined as you wish. Then you have the description. The description should be some meaningful description about the purpose this view was created for. If you hover the view with your mouse button, then the description will be displayed to the user, so maybe it's interesting to the user to get an idea why this view was created or what could be expected to be seen in this view. We have some sequence number which gives us the possibility to order views if they are on the same level. We can, for example, categorize this view as a non-listing view. So this view would just be a view to help us build up a structure, but not to filter features. And we can also decide about how to handle deleted features. So should they be listed in the view or shouldn't they be listed in this special view. Finally, we can give the view a color, which now is black. So you can give it color as you wish to help the user find its way through the view structure. And in the view order, you have the possibility to define how the features which are found by this view should be ordered. So they can be ordered by name, they can be ordered, for example, by last update, which is rather interesting, or by the location on the axis. And then also you can define if the direction of ordering should be ascending or descending. But the most interesting part of this view is of course the view filter. Again, I would like to tell you it is interesting to have a look at our reference manual. Also on this part you will find a good information about the view structure and the view filter. You can see how views can be structured in a hierarchical way, and it's also interesting all the topics concerning the views can be seen here, and it should be is a good idea for you to just browse the information through to get a deeper idea. So let's go back to our view filter of our root view. This filter now gives us the possibility to build up a logical tree. The tree consists of logical commands, which can be AND or the logical OR. You also have the possibility to negate the logical command, and then you have some filter terms you can place beyond this. So now this is a very simple tree. There is an AND which has only one filter term, so the AND has nothing to do because there is only one term, and this term says include all features. So as there is nothing more to filter, we could expect that if we execute this view, we should get every feature we created the last time. So let's execute it by pressing the right mouse button and use the first menu entry at the context menu. And then we see the feature browser shows the view members tab, which is the result of the last executed view, and shows us every feature we created the last time. So now we would like to build up a new view. To get a little practice about this view filter, we right click the root view and select the fourth menu entry, which is create a child view. We will provide it with the view edit window, which now gives us the possibility to specify this new view. And I would like to create a view which gives us only the views which are named house -distance change and some number. So I will name this the house features. I don't care about sequence number and about handling of deleted feature, etc. So, and I will leave the description blank for this test region. Also, the view order is not very interesting for me right now, but the view filter of course is. So now let's start with this end node. So I will add a filter term. You see now there's quite plenty of different filter terms we can make use of, and in our case we would like to use a filter which filters after the name of the feature. So there should be one which is called feature name, something like this. Name or description is the right one. So I filter my existing features in the database to specific name, and which is, I have the possibility now to filter for a specific name or a description. I decide for a name, and I would like to filter all the features where the name starts with house. So this should be enough for right now. I save this new view, and now you see the view is not does not appear in my View Explorer. This is because Redbex is a client-server application. So now we changed something at the database, but it's not automatically refreshed by the View Explorer. So we have to refresh it on our own. This is done by using the first button on the View Explorer, which is the Reload button. And if we do so, the structure of the view will be reloaded from the database, and now we see we have also our new view, which is the house features view. Now we have the possibility to execute this view, and we should expect that we get only the house features, and this is the case. The features having names which starts with the word house are displayed in our feature browser in the view member panel. Now let's work a little with our expression tree, and for example change this filter to ends with, and now I would like to filter specific views according to their name ending. For example, I would like to have the filter for the view which ends with the number 5. I save this one, and I can now execute this view like I did before by pressing the right button and choose the context menu, execute the selected view. But I also have the possibility to use this test filter expression here. This immediately executes the filter expression to the database, and if I do so, I now get only one feature, which is the feature having distance change 5 in its name. Now I can add another filter term. I take the same term again, name or description, and I tell the system, please get me again one feature, and now the feature which ends with 3. I save it and execute it, and now before I do it, I would like to ask you what should happen right now. I have a node which is logical AND, and I have two different expressions which tells on one hand give me all the features which ends with the 3, and on the other hand give me features which ends with number 5. So think a moment and I will execute it. Let's see if you're right. Well, the result is none features are found, because the AND node tells the system please give me all the features which end with 5 and also ends with 3. And as these both characters are different, of course there is no feature which name ends with the 5 and at the same time ends with 3. So this is not possible, and so of course no feature can be found. So to make this word work as we expect, we have to change the node operator to logical OR. This changes the situation. Now every feature which either has a 5 at its end or has a 3 on its end should be found by this filter, and we get two different features now, one which has the 3 at the end and the other one which has 5 on its end. Well, in that way you can build up a real mighty structure of views and make use of these filter commands. You can use filter terms which filter by feature types, so you can make one feature which only filters the distance features and another one which just filters the temperature filters, or whatever type of filter, whatever type of feature you're using in your system. And also you can use filters which gives features having a specific number of observation, or having more than a specific number of observations. So every observation number being bigger than 0, for example, would be an interesting idea. Let's have a look for this one. So you tell the system, give me all the features which have observations being more than 0. So only features which with observations will be selected here. Again, I would like to ask you to have a look in our reference manual. You will find a description for all the filters, and also a description about how to create this view structure and how to organize your views and organize your features within the Redbex system.